We're still on section 2.2, solving complex equations, and we're going to work example number 3, having to do with moment of inertia of a beam. And there's our formula. And here's the definitions for each of the variables along with their units. And I'm being told that that B, which is the width of the beam shown here in the diagram, is 5 1/4 inches. Pay special note of the format of the information, and that I, the moment of inertia, is 3,250. And actually there should be some units on here, and I'm going to put them on right now. Inches to the 4th. So I'm going to be using that formula and substituting in those numbers. So let me go ahead and start. I is equal to BD cubed over 12. And I am going to substitute in the values. So I know that my moment of inertia is 3250 is equal to B. And at this point, I'm going to change this to a decimal because that's going to be easier for me to put in my calculator. Times D to the 3rd times D to the 3rd. And D is the height according to this diagram over here. So it shows a D here, and it also says D is the height all over 12. So I'm going for D. I'm going to clear out this fraction by multiplying both sides by 12. So I have 12 times 3250 is equal to 5.25 times D to the 3rd over 12 times 12. And you can see that these 12s drop out. And I'm going to multiply this side, 12 times 3250, and I get 39,000. 39,000 is equal to 5.25 D cubed. At this point, I'm going to divide by 5.25, get rid of that guy. 5.25. These guys drop out, leaving me with D cubed, and I'm going to put him over here, just because you know I like him on the left. And I've got 39000 over 525. Now you might say, well, how come you didn't go ahead and solve that? Well, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And if it's a repeating decimal, I would just as soon wait until the end. So to get D, I'm going to take the cube root of both sides. Cube root. Cube root. Don't forget the little 3 in there. If you don't put the 3 in there, I'm going to deduct a point. So I have D on this side is equal to, I already have the 39,000 in there, so I'm going to divide by 5.25. And that, see that nasty decimal that I got? I didn't want to know about that ahead of time. And now I'm ready to take the cube root. Now don't forget, when you do something other than a square root, you have to put the 3 in first, second, and then my up arrow key. Second, recall my answer. And I get 19.5119. I'll go back into the problem, and they want it to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. I know that I've got 19 whole inches, so on the calculator I'm going to take off that 19, and I'm going to hit that decimal that remains, that 0.5 and change. I'm going to multiply that by 8 because I'm changing it to the nearest 1/8. So I get 4.09 blah 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 eighths. Well, what is that? 4/8. And what's 4/8? 1/2. And the dimensions for D are in inches. And that is example 3.